Hey, Tom. We're recording now.
Hey, Alpa, how are you?
I'm really, really well. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Alan. Very good.
I've been wanting to speak to you for quite some time, and it's the synchronicities of divine timing that it has happened now. And I'll be honest with you, it's been since July that Charlie Ward and a few others said to me, you must speak to Tom. Because when I went on Charlie's show the very first time, I started harping on about seeing these numbers 1111, 717, 144, 222, 444, and I was like, what the hell are these numbers obviously saying to me? And they go, you must speak to Tom, you must speak to Tom. And I've seen a couple of your shows, and it's just magnificent and beautiful to actually observe these synchronicities and delve deeper into them. And they have a hidden language and a hidden meaning of their own, and how everything is sort of synthesized and synchronized is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see if you have the lenses to see it. And you, my friend, definitely have those lenses.
I've got the lenses.
You've got the spiritual lens.
Well, thanks, darling. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Likewise. Yeah, I've been meaning to catch up with you and do this for a while. So I think, like you say, the timing is perfect right now. So yeah it's an honor to be here with you.
Yeah, this is the time. And it kept slipping my mind, because you see, I've got this book about the 1111 code, and the first chapter says that the firm belief that symbolism and numerology cannot have the power is what ensures that they are hidden languages of power. How beautiful is that?
It's amazing. Yeah.
So
they've been there all this time.
Everything's divine time.
They've been there all this time. It's hidden, but now through the Great Awakening, through the Age of Aquarius, through the millennium, through the Trump millennium, all these things, the Lionsgate is now being revealed to us like a beautiful three-dimensional. Well, I say three-dimensional, that's incorrect, but a five-dimensional pop-up book, like playing Pokemon Go at a virtual reality level. It's in reality,
Yeah. You mentioned the Lionsgate portal, and that was in August last year. That was very important, and I felt some huge shifts then, massive shifts. And you're saying the Trump gate. Explain a little bit more about that, because that's really instrumental in the movement which we find ourselves in.
Exactly. Well, so the Lionsgate, August the 8th. So August being the 8th month, 8/8. When you do the simple numerology, the simple gematria, the technical name for it, I like to call it Trumpology, but however you want to do it, all the numbers, if you look at it, for those that are new to it, just a brief example, A is the first letter of the alphabet, B is the second letter of the alphabet, C is the third, D is the fourth, etc. Yeah, angel comes to 39. Actually, we'll talk about that in a bit. But if you do President Trump's name, so Trump, T-R-U-M-P, T is the 20th letter, R is the 18th letter, U is the 21st letter, M is the 13th letter, and P is the 16th letter. If you add all those up together, you get the beautiful number of 88,
right? Which
is Lionsgate 88. Hence, we're going through. That's why President Trump is such a pivotal piece. He's the king on the chessboard, on the galactic chessboard.
Well, he certainly is. I mean, his gematria and his numbers are just so powerful and significant, and hold such spiritual relevance for sure. And so for my viewers, Tom, who haven't heard or seen any of your shows, take us through your connection to numerology, because I think that's a beautiful story in itself. I as we spoke off the show just a while ago, I've got a huge connection to numerology and seeing numbers, and just from my own birth time, being able to.
Beg your pardon, sorry, darling, for that.
They all want to speak to you, Tom. They all want to speak to you right now.
Let me tell you, I didn't realize that was even there, so let me just double check that is all off. That is all off. So apologies for that. No, what? When we play the video back, probably Alpa, that will be on a key marker. I'm sure that probably that's usually what happens. Yeah,
no, I definitely believe that, and I see it all the time. So I'm not even surprised, but I just smile when I see these synchronicities. because they're just beautiful. And for me, they're just references or guidance, or my guides telling me that you're okay, or that's something that I need to be vigilant about, or something that I need to think about. And now I've been able to discern and intuitively discern what they could mean. And it just navigates me into a path more of, not going to kind of becoming destabilized. Especially in light of everything that's going on. As any time I start feeling a little bit of anxiety, I'll see the numbers straight away, especially 717.
Yes, yeah, 17 Q. So that's where my story really started. So you were saying about how it kind of began, and I'd heard of the term numerology, I hadn't really gone into it per se. I'd noticed some numbers, probably just like anybody else in their, in their normal life, but it wasn't a big part of my life consciously. But now in time, I see that it always was. But consciously, before 2020, before lockdown, before the China virus or COVID or whatever you want to call it came in, the plague, I, like everyone else, was, doing my thing. And then it's, oh, hang on, the world is going to change very shortly. Right, I've got to figure this out. So I started to research, and I just kind of started to follow my spiritual nose, I guess. And I remember looking into Diana, Princess Diana.
Yeah.
And something drew me to look at the time of her burial service. So her burial service started at 9:08 in the morning. I mentioned this with Mark a couple of days ago, but 9:08 in the morning is kind of a weird time to start anything. But 9 + 8, I realized, came to 17. And I was like, 17, Q. And something jogged in my memory. I think I'd known it or been shown it maybe quite a few years ago, but something about where she was buried in Northorpe is a Q.
Yeah.
And I realized that, and that kind of resonated. And then something made me look at JFK Jr. and his burial plot is a big Q, like a real distinct one as well. And then I found out about Q, QAnon, etc. And I kept listening to President Trump's messages every day, late in the evening when it was broadcast over here to the UK, well, globally, but we're picking it up here in the UK in the evening. And I listened to him for hours, and I just had this inner knowing that everything's going to be fine, and that we had the Don looking after us. And I just knew that intrinsically. And then the numbers started coming to me. And you mentioned off camera about download. Interesting enough, it felt like a conscious download. Things just kind of kept coming to me, and I figured out many months later that the word download itself comes to 88, which is Trump again. And
wow.
So, yeah. So whenever we get a download, go
one step further, you're actually looking at all of this with the words as well. Like I look at the numbers. And I'm like, oh, yep, great. They've got my back. The angels are here. My guides are here. I mean, my guides are in rehab, to be fair, but looking after me. Seriously, no, honestly.
Singing with Amy Winehouse. Go back to rehab. Go to rehab. Yeah. Anyway, that song. Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm thinking I feel safe. But when you actually decipher the actual words into the numerology and the gematria, and they come to number 88, and then you've got 88, 16, 6, 1, 6, 7. 7 is divinity. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, you're right, darling. It is. It's the numbers and the words, the letters, the numbers, the words, all of it, and then you can start to play and create sentences. I mean, there was one that President Trump did on Twitter a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, and it was one of his block capital ones. So it's quite long, but I did the numbers on that, and it came to 1313, which is the Schumann resonance.
Yes,
and it was right there, and it was right there, and it took a bit of time to work it all out and do it, but it was fun, and I was like, oh, bingo, 1 1, 1 3 1 3, and it was right there, and so there's all these beautiful things, and I notice it in films, in music, in sports results. There's a lot of football teams that score in the 88th minute, or the Champions League final. The player Coman, he had number 59 on his. He was number 29, and he scored on the 59th minute. 59 plus 29 comes to 88, and I was looking at it thinking there's going to be a goal scorer on the 88th minute. I kind of got half the equation correct. It wasn't the 88th minute, but it was the 59th minute by the player 29, and it was 88, and it was the only goal of the game, and it was the most important club game in world football. So it's all of these things are always happening, and it's a joy. And like you said, with you get the 1111, you get 1111, and the beauty of that, you do 11 times 11 comes to 121. Back to the Future, they talk about 1.21 gigawatts, time travel, 88 miles per hour, Trump. And
that explains why I'm always in another planet.
There you go. And it can correspond to dates. I mean, you've got right now people are thinking perhaps President Trump will get back in on the 4th of March or the 4th. So the 4th itself is 88 as well, which is Trump. So the word fourth, FOURTH, is 88, 4th. There's 4th of July, but the 4th, March the 4th, comes to 121 again.
I'm a 4.
There you go.
My birthday's on the 4th. I won't say when, but 4th.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And the other beautiful thing about it is, so you've got the 4th comes to 121, but also the word revelation, which revelation comes to 121 as well. So 11 times 11, revelation,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been one big revelation in our lives this last 11 months now. Let's go back to the downloads, because that's something that I find really, really fascinating. It's like knowing something when you're like, I don't even know how I know this. It's not like I've read loads of books on this, and it's not like listened to so many people.
I haven't. I've not read any books on any of this.
I mean, somewhere along the lines, I just cannot focus. There's a bit of ADHD there, I think, and I'm just like, seriously, it's those vaccines. But no, jokes aside, I do sometimes sit there and think, how is it that I figured some of these things out? It's that inner knowing, and it's this inner compass then that we all have that has been so suppressed and so diluted. And our inner gnosis, simply first thing, because of fluoride, our pineal gland has been so
inner gnosis. I like that. That's a nice word.
Yeah, and we all have this. It's our intuitive compass. It's the sixth sense. Why do we call it the sixth sense? We have the 5 senses that we work with in a conscious way. It's the sixth sense, which is the sort of inner consciousness, the inner knowing that we have, which should be our intuitive compass to navigate our way through things. And this is what has been completely taken off the radar because of academia and books. And we're not really taught to trust ourselves. In fact, we're taught to mistrust ourselves and not align with all the so-called mumbo jumbo. But actually in this time, over these 11 months, I think it's our spiritual compass that's really guiding us. And then with this with the synchronicities and these numbers blasting around everywhere, just to make sure that we're actually getting the message. Because there was one interpretation about numerology and numbers that we see is that it's other souls speaking to us. And at that given moment, your guides, however you want to interpret that and what is meaningful to yourself, you will be guided. We are always guided, and a higher self is always guiding us, should we have the inner compass and the lenses to feel and see it. And that's really, really important. So the stuff that you do and speak about in your shows is amazing, because somewhere along the lines, like yourself, numerology has been my guide, navigating myself to actually say, right, well, look, as sometimes when you want to give up, and this is an arduous journey, but if you're sort of employing a bit of exuberance in it, you're laughing your way through, then it becomes less heavy. But let's face it, the last 11 months have been a roller coaster of emotions, and it's the numerology and the reminders through, especially for me, 144. It's just a reminder saying you better not give up. In the 144,000.
144,000.
Yeah. You're not doing that. You're not giving up. But it's kind of been a reference point for myself and for you, obviously, to see. Oh my God, this is all orchestrated so divinely.
It is. It's amazing, because so my YouTube channel is called Psych.Club. So PSYCH.
I like that.
Club. And like Fight Club, but I like the Dark to Light, etc. And I thought, that's cool. And I created that. And anyone on my channel, because I'll post this on my channel as well, so come and follow Alpa on hers and vice versa, etc. So Psych Club, I chose that name and created the channel back in October of 2019. And I didn't post any videos, but I created it and I created the logo, etc. But I just had it there. And then I did my first ever episode towards the end of May, and I talked about the number 17, about Space Force, about President Trump, and about Ivanka Trump. And I told my story of when I met Ivanka Trump in 2015, and I had some number things come up around my cousin Paul that had passed just a week or so before that. But I chose my channel Psych Club, and then I discovered, so I put videos up, and then I did my ones with Charlie, etc. a couple of months later, and then I started putting them more up, and it started to grow. But the interesting about Psych Club is it comes to 71 plus 38, which is 109. Now 109, when you spell the word 17, it comes to 109. So it's Q. Now I created that channel back in 2019, and I had no idea that we were going to come into 2020 and all the joys and roller coasters of that. And also, someone sent me, when I started to get a lot of views with Charlie, someone sent me an email, and there was a lot of detail, and it was referring to the Zapruder film. So Zapruder is one of the films around JFK, etc. And JFK, we know, is behind the Q movement, behind Q. And Zapruder comes to 109. And I was like, wow. So 17 comes to 109. Zapruder comes to 109. My channel comes to 109. And then just this Sunday, just gone, Jack Kidd gave me a call on Sunday afternoon and said, numbers, get down to Westminster, because I live Baker Street area, so I'm not far. So I got on the bike. Said there's been a little fire down at Westminster, at Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
So I get down there, and it's all cleared up, and I did a few episodes on my channel about it, but Parliament comes to 109, Zapruder 17, and just across the water you've got the huge Q. The Millennial Wheel is a massive Q, and it's right in line with Downing Street.
Yeah. And
the other thing, Elizabeth Tower, or Big Ben in military terms can be a loud, clear signal, because 39 comes to Big Ben. 39 also comes to the word 10.
Yeah.
10 is a loud, clear signal. It's a 5-5. You can have a 5 times 5, which is a 25, a jack. You have 55, which is heaven, which is Melania, which is December. Or you can have a 39, which is the word 10, and that can be 5 and 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. But the interesting thing about the word 39 is also angel is 39. And that's what you've got on today. And I went down just a few days ago and filmed about Big Ben, which comes to 39, which is angel. And you've got it there today, Alpa. And I had no idea what you were going to wear,
Wow. Do you know the reason why I wore this? Because everyone I've read a few comments on my show saying she just always wears white. Yeah. And because it's been cold, I just like my jumpers. I'm just a very boring dresser. Yeah. And I thought, let me just get the razzmatazz out today for you, Tom, because then I'm going to.
I appreciate it, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate the razz for sure.
The razzmatazz and the wings, there's a wing.
Yeah.
And I just.
Definitely.
And wear something different other than white. But look at that. You can't make that up. You can't.
No, it's totally on point. Totally on point,
Wow. 39. So going back to the number 17 and 717, and I mean the stuff about the wheel, the eye, London Eye, and it parallel to Downing Street. That's just got me now thinking. I mean, you can't make that up.
Can't make it up. And guess what? The London Eye looks over across. It's on the south bank of the river.
Yeah.
It looks over the River Thames.
Yeah.
River Thames. So Thames comes to 66, which is woman, which is happy. It's also Charles. So we've both got our dear friend Charlie Ward, Charles Ward. But when you add river comes to 72, which is first, which is money, which is channel, which is Rocky, the boxer film, etc. But you add them together, 72 plus 66 comes to 138, and 138 is Donald Trump.
So when you're looking at the numbers, you're adding the actual numbers that are synced with the alphabet, and that's how you're doing it. Yeah. So the words carry a number, right?
Yes.
Right.
So I very rarely will reduce it. I know in numerology, a lot of people reduce it, like you said, you're a 4, etc. And that's all great as well.
No, I'm 4. My date of birth is on the 4th of.
Yeah. But I find the one that, and President Trump might use the other versions, I'm sure he does, but the one that I see him clearly talking, when he talks and misspeaks and does Twitter, well, when he was able to do Twitter, I see it just in it's called simple gematria, but there's beauty with that as well. So the word simple comes to 74, which is Jesus. It's also Muhammad, if I believe correctly. It's also London, the city that we're in. It's also President Trump's current age. So he's currently age 74. But also the word gematria is 74 as well. So in case we miss the message, it's 74, 74. It's simple gematria, 74, 74. Jesus, Muhammad, President Trump's age, London, etc., etc.
74 also, then if you're going to put it into, if you add it up, it's 11.
Yes, there you go. Yes. So it's 11, 11. There you go, Donald. It's your one. 11, 11. Simple gematria, 7, 4, 11, 7, 4, 11, 11, 11. There you go. You got it again. And it's the River Thames. So River Thames is 1 through 8. It's Donald Trump. It's also squirrels. So you know Jack Kidd's group. Squirrels comes to 1 through 8. Revaluation comes to 1 through 8 as well. And also the English way of spelling savior, the savior, comes to 1 through 8. You couldn't make it up, Alpa. It's all there. And you go further down the Thames, you go to the City of London, comes to 185, which is Donald John Trump, the full name that he has. It's all there. You know, everything is there.
It's all divinely orchestrated.
Exactly. You've got everything there. So you've got all the historic things that have been going on in London. And the same stuff for New York. All the numbers over there are off the scale as well. But right there, you've got the queue looking out across Donald Trump, 1 through 8, looking right at Downing Street. Even next to it, you've got emergency broadcast system, which is 178. Sorry, emergency broadcast 178, which is New Scotland Yard, which is right in line. You've got the queue right over the river, right past New Scotland Yard, and then onto Downing Street.
Yeah.
And then to the left, you've got Big Ben, you've got Angel. And you've got Houses of Parliament. Houses of Parliament, interestingly enough, I didn't know this until Jack sent me down there. Houses of Parliament comes to 108, which comes to Jack Edward Kidd. Parliament, like we said, comes to 109, which is Zapruder 17 SHIVAYA. You had 108 plus 109 comes to 217, and interestingly enough, it comes to Tom Sidney Bushnell.
Wow!
So it's all there, you know. It's all. I just love this whole Pokemon Go in reality. I love it. It's amazing. Well, I need to do your numbers actually. So Alpa Soni, I need to. If you speak for a little bit, darling, I'm going to work yours out because I know there'll be something amazing there as well with this.
Well, I mean, if for someone who's watching this and thinks, what the hell are these two on about? I think it's just, it's like they're not sort of attaching or applying the numerology to the word itself. It's very confusing for them and it will probably make no sense. But, you know, this is something that came to me just through no reading, just finishing off that chapter, that, you know, not reading anything or not studying anything. It was just like an inner gnosis that it was like, you're starting to see these numbers. It started in 2015 for me. And a friend was saying, like, every time I speak to you, it's at 11:11. And I'm like...
It started for me in 2015. That's when I met Ivanka Trump. That's when my cousin passed. That's when I was in Manhattan. Yeah,
it's a very significant year that I soon learned afterwards. And then it set me on this journey to inquire. And that's really what it is. It's actually losing your 3D lenses and now inquiring in inquisitiveness is where your journey starts, because it's that curiosity that takes you on this journey. And I've always been a sensitive soul and deep, you know, I like to look into things. I can pick up on energies. I could read energies, but it was very suffocating because I didn't understand. I didn't make the connection that actually was a gift. So you are put in environments where you are the outcast or the misfit, and you're left to sort of wonder, what the hell am I doing on this planet? And so, you know, a lot of the times that my friends would take the mick out of me saying, she's just out of the galactics. And I think there's truth in that, because I used to just switch off from like small talk, and I could never understand any of that. So in 2015, this journey with numerology began, and that curiosity. And then I started looking, and then it just started coming to me. So I allowed it, you know, subconsciously somewhere, not realizing I was doing it consciously. And that became a little bit of an obsession, but I couldn't speak about it to anyone else. So, you know, I would get the, oh, here she goes again. The, you know, eyes would roll and like, here she goes again with the numbers. I said, but I can't make this up. Every time I speak to you, it's always at this time. So if I leave voice notes, it would be 111 or 144 or 717 or 1111 was just, you know, I accepted that. That was just part and parcel of my day, every day, several times a day. But then you mentioned
111, Alpha.
Yeah.
And that's a few things. That is New York comes to 111. Old London, Londinium comes to 111. The height in meters of St. Paul's Cathedral in Londinium, in London, comes to 111. My birth date, one of the ways to say it, February comes to 96 plus 15 comes to 111. There's a lot of magic and power with 111. So that's, you know, it's no surprise that you tune into that and see that.
Yeah, well, just 111.
Parthenon as well, Parthenon. Greg told me how he met President Trump in 1988 on the Parthenon, and then President Trump told him basically he was going to save the world. He boomed out at him, kind of stood on us, and told him, declared, you know, this is what I'm going to do. And that happened at the Parthenon.
Wow. And when you think about this, when you really sit back and think about it, this does sound crazy to just on the other side completely. You know, well, they already think I'm crazy. I got told that I'm like Russell Crowe from A Beautiful Mind.
There you go. Yeah, there
Have you seen that film? No, it was actually an abusive message, but, you know, I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, take it as a compliment for sure, darling. I just did your numbers on your name, and you're going to like this. So Alpa, A-L-P-A, comes to 30, okay? 30, gold and silver is represented by a few things in terms of this galactic chessboard that we're, you know, looking at with the numbers. So the chemical symbol for gold is AU, okay? AU is A1 plus U, 21, so that comes to 22. Silver is AG, A is 1, G is 7, add them together, 8. So 22 plus 8 comes to 30. So you've got the chemical symbols for gold and silver in your name right there. Soni, S-O-N-I, I've spelled that correctly, yes? So I like that one, particularly because my name, well, Son, S-O-N, Son, comes to 48, comes to Tom, comes to James, comes to Zim, it comes to a few things. But you add the I, which is a 9, takes you to 57. Now, 57 is a beautiful number.
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful number because I actually talked about this again on Sunday on the videos I did. I mentioned the moon. The moon comes to 57. Tesla, Nikola Tesla, who's a big part of all this with the Trump family and the Kennedys, etc. Tesla comes to 57. The name Wood, who's my grandparents, Eileen and Sydney, and I think sometimes they're part of the orbs that I get in my videos, and my cousin Paul, etc. Looking, you know about all those sorts of things, your angels, etc. Their last name was Wood, 57. England is 57. George in the community, hello George, with JFK Jr.'s magazine, George magazine, Mount Rushmore, George Washington, etc., is 57. There's a lot of powerful things with the number 57.
Is that what Sony is?
So yes, Sony is 57. Yeah, and when you add them together, you get 87. So you get 30 plus 57 comes to 87. One of the things for that is Stellar. So the coin out there, the crypto coin, etc., comes just before 88, which is Trump. And I've just added Angel to it just for playing, having some fun. So Alpa Soni, 87, plus Angel, which is 39, comes to 126.
Right.
126 comes to atomic silver, which is 47. Atomic gold is 79. 47, which is John, which is time, which is France. And you add 79. 79 is William. It's a few other things, but you add it together. 126, which is a date that we just went past a couple of days ago, comes to atomic silver and atomic gold. Alpa Soni Angel 126. Silver and gold, darling.
Right. So now listen to this. This will freak you out. Soni means gold.
Wow! Yay! I didn't know that.
So goldsmiths, gold, the profession of gold. So obviously the Indian community is broken down into the caste system, which I'm not, so I don't really adhere to, but just by way of reference, Soni means gold, goldsmith, gold.
Amazing. I didn't know that at all. Look
No.
at it. See, this is the power. So anyone that's maybe a little thing like, what are we on
What
about?
the hell?
If you can just look at the alphabet
Yeah.
and just go, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. It took me maybe 10 days to maybe 3 weeks to kind of be able to do it really quickly in my head. And it's just like, it's like a key to learning a new language, like you said at the beginning. And if you know Trump equals 88, that's the key to it. It's easy to remember, you know, double 88, infinity, wealth, resurrection, rebirth, etc. If you know how to do that, and people at home, work out your own name, see what it comes to, and then put on the comments to Alpa or myself or both of us and say, what's this mean, you know? Explain
to the audience just again how to just sort of like so how you worked out my numbers so that they can do that. So just Alpa, ALPA. So you add Alpa being A1, L.
L is 12.
P.
P is 16.
I didn't pass maths when I was at my.
It's all right, huh?
Yeah.
P is 16th letter.
And then.
And A is the first letter again.
So did they add 1 plus 16,
12,
16?
Yes.
1. Okay.
Yes, comes to 30. And 30, I know, is atomic silver and atomic gold. You add them together. Well, the chemical symbols. Symbols.
Tom got an A in his GCSEs.
There you go. Chemistry. I did A-level chemistry actually, so that's why I remember some of these things. Yeah, so that's how you do it, Don. You do it. You just add up. If you can get one way to do it at home is just, you know, write down on a piece of paper A, B, C, D, all the way through to the end of the alphabet, and then put the corresponding number, and then have some fun with it. You know, work out your own name, your surname, your month of birth, favorite movies, music, parents, sisters, siblings, boyfriends, girlfriends, children, nieces, nephews, capital cities, countries you've been to, wherever. Let me do India. Actually, let me find out. I've done India before, but I can't remember right now. Let me just check. So I N D I.
When you do this,
oh, very good. India comes to 37. I talked about St. Paul's Cathedral down in an old Londinium a few minutes ago. It's built on a hill called Ludgate Hill. The word Lud comes to 37. The word Greg comes to 37. The word like comes to 37. It's also a mirror
as well. 3 plus 7 is a 1. So you've got the number 1, which is very powerful.
You know, and you've got number 10. 10.
Yeah.
Big Ben, number 10. You know, Big Ben, 10 loud clear signal, number 10 down. You know, you've got all of those things.
Yeah. My grandfather, my mother's father, he was very, very, very intelligent, but he had difficulty in expression, and he would get all of this sort of stuff. And one of the things he said was that in Sanskrit, numerology is huge, and it plays before words. It actually was numerology, which was the language, and everyone spoke in numbers. I mean, I didn't really kind of make sense of that at the time, and I'm not sure exactly what he was trying to tell me. But now, as time has gone on, I kind of internally get what he was trying to explain. And that's the power of numerology and how it all marries up. Everything is just so interconnected. And the universal energies of numerology and words are so powerful. So when we're speaking as well, we are actually spells are being made.
Of course.
Yeah.
Power of words. I mean, you think about it. It's spellbinding. Gospel, go spell. It's all there, you know. That's President Trump does all the good versions of it, you know. That's why he'll point. Interestingly enough, the word point comes to 74 again, which is his age, which is Jesus, which is Muhammad, which is London. Point, and he's the king of pointing, and there's a power to it. He goes,
well,
you know, people kind of get transfixed. Yeah,
that's a really good point. So
it is point. Yeah,
he gets all of this, right? Like, you know.
Oh, he totally. Yeah, I think he's part of. If we look back at it, he's created it. You know, that's my opinion. You know, that's why I know it. It's like I just listened to him and picked up on it and download. You know, he's 88, and it's just started to come. What's the? How do you spell Sanskrit exactly?
Sanskrit. Sanskrit. Yes. I do want to have a word with Trump at some point when all of this is kind of like, you know, quietened down. And just, you know.
SANSKRIT.
IT. Sanskrit, the saintly script.
Hang on, let me just double check this one. But you're going to really love this.
S-A-N.
A-N. S.
Yeah.
C-R-I-T.
Sanskrit.
Is that right?
No, S-A-N-S.
Sorry. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to do it here on my, so I can see the spelling of it while I'm doing it. Okay. S-A-N.
Yeah.
S-K-R-I-T. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to just double check this because this is beautiful.
It means the saintly language, Sanskrit. I really wish my grandfather taught me that. We've become so anglicized.
It means the saintly language.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to do it with you now, or do you want me to just tell you what it is?
Tell me what it is.
Okay. Get ready.
I have no patience.
Drum roll. First part of the word, san, S-A-N.
Yeah.
Okay. Comes to 34.
Right.
34 is a few things. It's 2 17s, etc. But 34 are the initials of DJT, Donald John Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also the name. It's also the word one. It's also the word Neo in the Matrix, etc.
Right.
The rest of it, crit, comes to 77. Sanskrit, yeah. Comes to script, so it comes to 77, which is Christ, which is quasar, and it's 7, so it's 7-7. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah, and you add those. How about this one, Alpa? Do you have a calculator there?
No, don't make me do any maths in front of anyone.
Okay, I won't. All right, I won't.
But remind me of my GCSEs all over again.
Okay. The interesting thing about that as well, I don't know if you know, or some of the listeners, but if you look at President Trump's family history, his father's name was Frederick Christ Trump.
Right.
His grandmother's name was also Christ, and also the great grandparent before them had Christ in their name as well. So he comes from a line of Christ, and right. His name his age is 74. So you've got Jesus Christ there, you've got 74 Muhammad, etc. You've got all that going on. But if you add 77 plus 34, it comes to 111.
What Sanskrit is 111. So yeah. Is that how you would do it? Would you break it up into the two?
You don't have to. I just notice. I just see them as I do them. You know, so I notice it. But you know, you don't have to break it up. I just did that as an illustration because I thought both of those two things, i.e., 34 Donald John Trump DJT 1, and then 77 Christ is a super powerful, exciting number to see. Christ consciousness, quasar. Martin from
Krishna. You've got
Krishna.
Yeah, like when I was thinking about.
Let's do Krishna. Let's do Krishna. Let's see what that is. Do you want to spell that one for me? Krishna. Okay, Krishna. So Krishna. Yeah. So Krishna. 80. Okay. The word 80.
Yeah.
The word 80.
Yeah.
So if you write the word 80, EIGHTY, it comes to 74. 74 is Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, Christ consciousness. You see how this all works? You see how this works? You see?
Look at Q, the letter Q, Quran. I mean, this almost they almost spear Godhead in, completely, and this is why they are vilifying the movements. But when we look at it a lot deeper, there is so much divinity in there is divinity in everything, not so much, it's in everything.
Yeah.
Divinity is just in absolutely everything. And this, the Sanskrit one is beautiful. I mean, it's...
that's a great gift, Alan, and I didn't know that. So thank you for...
Sanskrit was...
Bringing that up.
One of the 22... Oh, gosh.
Where did you go?
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, what happened there? Hello?
It's just a marker saying we just confirmed that Sanskrit was a 111 and it was beautiful.
Oh,
and then
God, it's gone again. And it's gone again. Hold on. Let me just pause this 1 second.
Okay. You look kind of more breathy now, more kind of glowy. There you go.
Yeah, no, I've got this, it might be just a corrupted camera. So sorry about that, everyone. It just sort of like interfered because we're talking about all divine stuff, you see.
Yeah.
And they just want to interfere. What happens, it's happened a lot when I've tried to speak to people in this whole journey, and then like either their internet wouldn't work or something would happen with mine. Mine's usually because I just don't know how all of this stuff works. That's probably the reason with my stuff, but it's happened with other people when no matter what, though, we manage to make that conversation happen, but it becomes a bit of an arduous task because, you know, something goes wrong. There's a malfunction in some of our in our technical stuff. So yeah, it just interrupted us there. But anyway, back to what we were saying. Sorry about that.
We're back. That's all right. That's all right. So yeah, we were talking of the beauty of well, Sanskrit 111.
Yeah.
And India 37, Angel 39. Just, you know, it's amazing when you delve into it. You just start to see all these things, and it's exciting because each day I discover new words, new numbers to go with those words, and it just adds to my knowledge base of it. You know,
every day now when you're sort of just, you know, on your bike,
yeah, do it all the time.
around.
Just I think of things, they pop into my head, I write them down, I work them out. One key when people get really good at this, or just a place to start from, is you can go and look at the headlines of the newspapers, and there's codes there. There's codes there, so they'll do weird, you know, spellings of words. They'll do weird phrases, even things like the Star newspaper, the Sun, the Mirror, the Express, the Mail, all of them, but definitely the ones that have the red on. Yeah. And the Star is by far the most interesting and revealing one. They talk about alien disclosure. They talk a lot about President Trump disclosing that. And people dismiss it because it's the Star newspaper. Oh, it's the, you know, it's the trash. But I'm telling you, if you take a screenshot or a photograph of the front of those papers and just go home and then work them out, you'll start to see some really amazing numbers and messages. For instance, one yesterday on the Star News, 2 days ago, it had one of Piers Morgan, and it said PM for PM. So 4 is 39 is angel, but if you add if you add PM, which is 29, plus 4, which is 39, plus 29 again, it comes to 97, which is Kennedy, or Kennedys, I should say. It's also crypto. And then on the back, I can't remember what it was, but it came up to 67, which was reset. So it's like crypto reset, Kennedy reset, 67 is water as well. So there's really some interesting things. I've had mine like last week on the Star newspaper on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday, they had these phrases, long phrases, and I worked them out, and they came up to my full name both times, 245 Thomas Sidney Bushnell, both times. So I noticed these things. I had ones for Charlie Ward the week before. I've had my name before. Probably going to start getting some for you as well now, Alpa. You know, I'll probably start seeing your ones as well. So this is just the beauty of it, you know. It's amazing. They're talking to us. It's the dissolving of the matrix. You know, it's the higher forces communicating with us, and if we can see and decipher the messages, they're there for us to have.
Honestly, you'd be a great dinner party guest, because, you know, it would just fascinate everybody. I think I could talk to you forever, but it's definitely food for thought. And everyone that's watching this, I hope you've enjoyed it, because I could go on and ask you so many questions, but I'm conscious of time. But the Sanskrit one, and India, and Christ and Krishna, I mean, just look at the synchronicities there. You can't make this stuff up. And
no.
There is, you know, definitely meaning to all of this, should we have the lenses to see it. And like after a while, you just start seeing it a lot more clearly. So it's just blown me away a little bit, because, you know, I'm like, wow, you've gone one step further. So everyone who's watching this, it may be a little bit, whoa, what is this, going over our heads and stuff. But it's just the message for me is very clear, that divinity is in everything and connected, and in this sense of consciousness, unity consciousness that we have in this movement especially. And for us to have that foresight and to see what's going on with these spiritual lenses, and understanding the gematria of everything. It's just a beautiful thing, and the gnosis that comes out of it. So, you know, Tom,
we could do that. We could do some future episodes called a dinner table, a numerology dinner table.
Yes, well, I'd love to do that, and I'd like to speak to you again and have regular, you know, shows.
For sure, Don. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It will be received really, really well. So
yeah,
lots of love, and thank you so much, Tom. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Alan. Take care. Take care. Cheers, Alpa. Bye bye.